I'm Hannah.
And I'm Simon.
And welcome to PolyWaffle,
a new arts variety show by the students of Melbourne Polytechnic.
Wow. Can you believe that we're halfway through the series?
I can't, Hannah, and I honestly just can't believe how fast it's gone. We've experienced some great stories and examples of art. But what do we have in store for the viewers today?
Well, Simon, in this episode we'll be looking at things like arts and consciousness and how an artist uses ayahuasca to awaken their mind. But also we'll see how a busker is bringing fire through his music in the streets of Melbourne.
Oh my God, art and consciousness, fire and music? This is going to be one hot episode. But first up, we're going to take a look at what inspires Elisa Persico in her daily life.
My name is Elisa and I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for 20 years. I like being a photographer because it allows me to be artistic. It allows me to make a profession at the same time. And there are a lot of things I can photograph and a lot of subjects, and it makes it interesting. What inspires me to be a photographer is art, architecture and nature. Photography is a great way for me to express my artistic side. I know I've taken the perfect shot when I have that gut feeling, when I want to go home and look at the images straight away. One of my favourite shots I've taken is an image I took in Barcelona when I was travelling, and I visited one of Gaudi's buildings, a famous architect. The image reminds me of my travels. It represents my love of architecture.
You know what? I want to do that. Travelling, art, inspiration, what a way to open your mind.
Yeah, I'd love to travel too. Her photographs are fantastic. You know, I might even jump on the next plane myself. You know?
Oh, alrighty. Hey.
Okay, I'll calm down.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves, Simon. Before you go anywhere, we've got foam craft with Anton Hendricks.
Hello, my name's Anton and today I'll be showing you how to make costumes out of foam. So to make this, we're going to need a heat gun, some foam, a cutting mat, some paper, sticky tape eraser, an X-Acto knife, a pencil, some scissors and some ruling equipment. First thing you have to do is decide what you want to make. I want to make a gauntlet plate that goes over my arm. First thing you have to do is measure the body part you're making this to go on. You then want to draw this out on a piece of paper and make sure to check that it fits your measurements. Then you cut it out and check if it looks right on yourself. Next you want to stick it to your craft foam and then cut it out. Now cut it out with some scissors or a knife, whichever is easiest for you. There we go. Now you want to grab your heat gun or hairdryer and wave it over the part you want to shape. Now while it's still warm, you can shape it how you want. It may take a couple of goes to get it to how you want it to be. Now that you've got the shape right, you can put some paint on it and it should end up something like this. You can make something like this, or anything you can think of.
Wow, a new way to make fashion. I could see you wearing that helmet, Simon.
Yeah, I could. Well, actually, I do know Anton Hendricks. And thanks to some TV magic, guys, look what I have for us. A beautiful helmet with a crest that I admire a lot. Do you know why? Because it looks like your hair.
Oh, wow, okay. Have you been drinking ayahuasca?
Wait, what's that?
In our first feature story, we'll meet Eliza Cameron, an artist who tells us about her experience with the shamanic medicine.
Being an artist, you have to be incredibly sensitive to the way you perceive and feel the world, which can be incredibly overwhelming. It takes a lot of courage to be able to communicate that vulnerability with people. Picasso was particularly inspiring for me early on. His work invites the viewer to reassess the way we perceive reality. My personal path with creativity has become quite spiritual. It has led me to personal clarity. You're always going to try and share your experience, no matter what kind of art you make, with the viewer. I'm determined to share moments of clarity and bliss and more beautiful states, spreading that instead of aggression. I feel that art can re-inspire the awe and wonder in everything around us that we take for granted. And I also believe that it connects us on a deep level, and it can be incredibly healing in that way. Portrait painting is a very intimate process. In order to perceive the subject in their entirety, it's important to be incredibly present and sensitive to their character. When I paint, I look for subtle colours and textures and form. I can't know already how or what I'm going to paint. I have to just be incredibly present with the subject. So ayahuasca is a hallucinogenic concoction that is used in shamanic medicine. For me as an artist, it really helps also to bring subconscious into consciousness, the imagination into material world, which can be very helpful to externalize that internal image, and it's never as beautiful. Things like ayahuasca can help develop that bridge between those two realms. The next body of work that I'm working on is inspired by my ayahuasca experience, and very existential themes of life and death, opposing forces, masculine and feminine. They come across in the imagery in very mythological and archetypal symbols. What you could imagine heaven to be like. It's a very spiritual experience in witnessing that level of beauty. I feel that art is an incredibly important way to express our experience of the world, whether it's joy or pain. These experiences bring us together and help us to work well together. You know, without creation there would be destruction. We would live in a very utilitarian dystopia and everything would be colourless and grey. Art is a key to a door that is the soul, and without that key, we would be pure intellect, we would be machines. And so I feel like art is essential to being human and whole.
Wow. You know what? I think I'd really need to take a lot of that medicine in order to paint like that. They're just fantastic.
The detail in her abstract pieces and portraits is amazing. What a talent.
Totally. The colours are wild. And talking about wild, after the break we have PolyWaffle insider Dan, creating both controversy and conversation with contemporary art.
We'll also see how Jules Taylor finds Buddha, and Animus the busker bringing the fire through his didgeridoo. Stick around.
And welcome back to PolyWaffle.
This has been a really cool episode so far, and we have so much more to come.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen some really trippy stuff. And I'm wondering how this will play out in Dan's mind. Let's take a look at Is This Art?
Guys, welcome back to Is This Art? Az Cardone is with me again. Hey, bud.
Hey, Daniel.
I'm really glad you're still here because before you left the studio, there was one really exciting opportunity that I wanted to run by you. You know, last time we spoke about Riot by Christopher Wool, I was inspired, especially by the price tag. And I thought, hey, I'm an art critic now. Why not try my hand at creating art? So that's what I did. And I've created my own piece of contemporary art. What do you think of it?
This is very interesting, but what is it called?
It's called
I get that's the title, but what does it mean? What is it?
Well, you know, the way I see it is that I'm hoping that it means for me a big hefty profit. And I was thinking maybe if you also interpret the art that way, then you might be interested in purchasing it from me.
I think I have my wallet.
Yeah,
Let me have a look.
Let's bust that open. Let's see what you got.
I have some money, but I also have a Subway.
Yeah, I'll take it. Maybe just pass me the wallet. And
Okay.
I'll see what we're working with there. Stuff. Thank you. So yeah. All right. You know what? I'll just keep this as a down payment. For the rest, I've actually drawn up a pretty convenient and manageable payment plan that I think will tickle your fancy. So This is general, jargon. There's just a couple of terms and conditions you'll want to have a look at. You'll have to give me your firstborn child, and if you just sign at the bottom, the piece is yours.
I mean, I don't think Father Damon would agree with this, but I'm gonna sign it anyways.
It's a fine choice you're making. Perfect. Thanks, buddy. So dated and witness. So the piece is all yours. You're the proud owner of a Dan Guy original. How does it feel?
It feels wonderful, Daniel.
It does, doesn't it? And well, hey, look at that. I just sold my first piece of art. This is pretty good. How good is that? I think I've really got some talent for this. I might keep it up. That's all from us. Stay tuned. Who knows what I'll come up with next. All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Dan.
Okay, we sure did take a look.
I don't know how to move on from that. What about punk? Everyone loves a little bit of punk, don't they? Sorry to scare you, Hannah, but I didn't mean to. We're just always high energy on this program, always delivering the goods.
This whole episode scares me. Coming up, we have the second part of a story about Jules Taylor, an ex-punk singer who discovers Buddhism.
I loved spontaneous music that went off in all directions and had a really, deep, energetic and almost spiritual flow to it. So I really loved Keith Jarrett. I really loved, Miles Davis. I really loved all of those amazing, really spiritual, those musicians that all had very deep spiritual connections. I was taking a lot of drugs, I have to say. I was taking a lot of drugs. To me, the drugs were, they were my spiritual home, and that I was residing in the home of the drug at that stage, and really enjoying it. So I didn't feel like I needed anything else. I do not know the significance of what happened. It's only now when I look back and I go, oh my God, I'm my Buddha. I am so lucky to have met two of the most extraordinary teachers ever. So anyway, it was in Quran, I'll never forget it. So off we go in the car. I've got ripped fishnet tights on. I don't know what I was wearing, some outrageous outfit. Black lippy, black everything, black hair sticking out everywhere. And he invites me into the kitchen, and there, sitting there, is Lama Yeshi and Lama Zopa. And I tell you, they nearly fell off their seats. They thought I was the most, had not come to the West, or not come to Australia, had never met a punk before. And they thought I was the most hysterical creature they had ever met. And they would just go laughing, and because they are just such pure souls, they just thought I was and I can't remember who it was. They were going, Dakini, thinking I was some wild spiritual goddess, but laughing, like not really saying I was one, but just imagining that I was some winged creature. The thing that struck me the most was their incredible kindness and how open they were and how spacious they were. Many years later, like around a decade later, I remember opening it and something touching. And I knew when I left that day, I went, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to come back here. I will get back to you. And I knew I would become a Buddhist. I knew I would get back there. And when I opened that book 10 years later, I knew I was ready to receive some of the most, heartfelt and tender teachings of the Buddha.
Geez, Han, there seems to be a lot about drugs in this episode. Kids, be warned. Do not take drugs. They're not good for you. You'll regret it.
Yeah, she was incredibly risque. Moving from being a full-on punk into Buddhism. What a life-changing moment meeting those monks.
Definitely.
I'm really looking forward to seeing part 3 of the story next week.
Sure thing. But it's not all drugs and rock and roll. And talking about music, Animus the busker will show us the fire of his spirit and his love for playing the didgeridoo.
Animus, take us away.
Okay, my name's Dan, and I'm a busker here in Melbourne City, and I play the didgeridoo. Started music lessons about the age of 9, and I was very lucky to learn from a next door neighbour called Colin Offord. And I was lucky because Colin exposed me to creativity in music. So as a kid I was improvising and always had that idea that you do something that expresses you, you can create. It's not for everyone, but it certainly was for me. I really got affected by that. I always had a didge around, I played a bit of didge. Through a long series of happenings, ended up in the north of Australia and learning about the didgeridoo out on an Aboriginal reserve. And about 10 years ago I started doing an act which I called Animus, which started off with a bit of flute and a bit of didge, and then I realised that it was really a didge show. That's kind of what this was about for me, is creating for the didgeridoo, and I was fascinated by it and the energy that it had and what I could bring to it. Was African, or specifically West African music. That's music that's really driven by rhythm, and the main instrument there is the djembe, which you probably know. It's an hourglass shaped drum that sits between your legs. That energy that just comes out like fire and just sweeps you off your feet, you know, makes you kind of take a breath and your eyes go wide and you go, wow, you know. So that I kind of got into that. That got into me, you know. I got addicted to that. I thought, yep, the two go together. The didge can be very rhythmic and very fiery, and West African music is very fiery, and so that's the basis of what I do, is I use African-based rhythms, Australian didgeridoo, and bring that rhythm and that feel, that forward motion, that dance energy, and create my music. Yeah, I'm here to bring the good energy, to bring the fire. I want to see you all feel it and dance with me and move with me. I'm here to bring some energy to the street.
That's awesome. You know, Animus speaks of this fire, and I'm really feeling the fire, you know?
It is fantastic the way he brings a contemporary style to a traditional form of music.
Oh, my lines are up. After the ad break, this might give us some time to breathe, because after the break, we'll be talking about how an artist works with the environment in an environment of trash.
Welcome back to PolyWaffle. We're nearing the end of the episode, but I do not want it to finish.
Yeah, me too. You know, I'm really feeling the fire.
No, that's enough. Now it's time for the story of an American woman named Nancy D, who turns recycling trash into art. Let's see how she does it.
My name's Nancy Lane, but when I do my artworks, I call myself Nancy D Sculptures. I pick up junk off the streets, and my daughter calls me a trash collector. What I do then is glue it into different types of artworks. I enjoy so many things about it. I love going out walking and discovering what I'll find, but I also enjoy the challenge of making artwork only by taking things that I find in the streets. So unlike a painter who can paint anything, I enjoy working here in my home studio, but just recently I've moved to a City of Melbourne studio because the amount of junk I've collected is so much, I need more storage space. I found a huge piece of metal on the street and it looked like a big wave, a tidal wave, so I made a city that was just about to get inundated. Partly what I do is try to get the message across about the importance of environmental sustainability, and I think with the extremes of weather that are coming with climate change, it's a bit of a warning as well as an artwork.
Wow, that's really incredible for the environment. A really inventive way to recycle.
Yeah. You know what? I love it when people use their imagination to make contributions to the way we live.
And what a beautiful way to close this week's episode. Art and life really do make the world an incredibly adventurous place. And there's so much to think and take away from this week's episode.
What was your favourite part, Simon?
I really liked Animus. I reckon his didgeridoo playing his talent was on point, and so too was his beats. They were fire.
Yeah, I think my favourite is actually Eliza Cameron. The detail in her portrait work was just phenomenal. I think I'll be getting a piece for myself.
I 100% agree, Hannah, but unfortunately it's that time.
I know, but we do have an amazing band to close today's episode. Let's see the Fix-Ups performing their song Monkey Dance. Until next time, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Simon.
And thank you for watching PolyWaffle.